What's up, guys? It's your boy Justin. Today we're finally reviewing Redman issue 4 and 5, which is the last issue, right here. If you haven't seen reviews for 1 through 3, I did them in one video for Halloween month 2022. Make sure to check out that video. So first we'll look at Redman issue 4, which is called Czars. And for people who don't know what this comic book series is about, it's about basically Matt Frank or whoever got the rights to Redman, which is an obscure Tsuburaya show, which Tsuburaya Productions are the owners and the creator of Ultraman. Right, and Redman was like a spin-off show where it was basically like 3 to 5 minute episodes, right, that would be basically filler in between like TV shows like Late at Night or whatever, right, and it would just be Redman fighting off against a monster, right. Like, I think somebody made like a compilation of all the Redman episodes, which was like over 100, and was on like, and it's like, you know, an hour and a half, so it's like the length of a movie or some shit. I could be wrong, but yeah. So yeah, just like in the other issues, it starts off with this eerie like page where like you see a TV turn on, right? And yeah, this issues about this monster called Czars, which is I don't think I've ever saw this monster in Ultraman, but I've only seen like 2 or 3 Ultraman shows. Well, 4 if you count the Ultra Galaxy, right? Where yeah, it's this peaceful monster that's like a herbivore, right? I think that's what they're called. And he gets approached by these 2 monsters, Dorako and Black King, which these are not the names of these monsters. For some reason, I guess they didn't have the rights to they only had the rights to Redman. So a lot of the monsters, they changed the names, right? So yeah, these 2 monsters approach Czars, right, to approach him to ask him to team up with them so they can fight and kill Redman. Which you see, Redman's already fighting a monster using his spear weapon, right? And here's this is a cool scene because there's not a lot of dialogue in this comic book series. So, like, you know, it's a lot of visual storytelling. So, like, here they have this graph where they're like, okay, if Black King fights him, or was it Dorako? No, Dorako fights him by himself, he loses. Dorako and Black King fight him together, they lose. Dorako, Black King, and Czars fight Redman together, and they win, right? So, they go off to fight Redman, but Czars is missing, and they're like, oh crap, we messed up big time. Right to fight. You have the iconic sound effects, if you can even call it that. And like a lot of the Redman issues, like the art's good. You have a somewhat cool choreography. What did you call it? Shit. The structure of the fight looks good. Okay, that's what I meant to say. Alright. So yeah, the fight looks good. There's some humor as well. But yeah, you have a cool finish, but yeah, it ends like a lot of the comics, and except for there's no usually there at the last page it shows you like the aliens that watch Redman on TV, right? And it's like eerie, like, oh, what's going to happen next with those aliens? This is the last page. So you get, this has been a broadcast by Happy Tank, right? Yeah. Okay, now the final issue, right? And the final issue, right? Here's the final issue. It starts off with the Godzilla-looking monster from, this issue is called Big Liger. And it starts off with the Godzilla-looking monster. I forget his name, right? They call him Jiris here. Right, where there's a cool fight in like Ultraman where Ultraman fights him and he rips off the frill thing and it looks actually, and that's the closest you got to Ultraman fighting Godzilla, right? But yeah, like Redman, you think you're gonna have this awesome fight with Redman versus this Godzilla looking monster? No, Redman kills in one shot. Right? And then you get narration from the narrator where it's like, oh man, our hero wins again, but it's kind of game boring, right? He keeps winning, right? So it's like, it gets a little meta, but like, oh, something changes, right? Redman gets attacked by Big Liger, which is this moth monster, right, which is called a poisonous insect monster. Keep in mind, when you think Liger, you think like a lion, like a white lion kind of creature, which Ligers are like a crossbreed between lions and tigers, right? You see them a lot in anime, right? I don't know if they exist in real life, but like, Napoleon Dynamite seems to think so. If anybody even old enough to remember Napoleon Dynamite, right? He has a thing with Ligers, right? Yeah, so this was a cool fight. Yeah, in this issue, you see him fight a bunch of Ligers while the aliens watch on TV in black and white. And you see him use some new moves. Maybe that, I don't know if they were ever in the show, right? Like he has this attack where he uses like an energy blast called Reto Funda, right? Very Ultraman-esque, and he's able to spawn out of nowhere multiple of the cross javelins or whatever they're called. And then the issue ends with our hero wounded, and then something attacks him from behind, right? And that's how it ends. To be continued. Okay, so what did I think about this comic and the series in general, right? Let's put Redman issue 4 and 5 here. So what did I think about this series? One, the art is good. The inks are good. The fights are good. But it's funny, in comics, we complain a lot, like, oh, there's not enough fighting in these modern comics, right? These modern comics are basically soap operas, like soap opera melodramas, right? Here we have the opposite problem, where there's lots of fighting. The fights are good, but there's not really a story, right? So each issue is our character fighting a random monster, and it may be setting up for something cool to happen in the future. Yeah. So that's the problem, right? Like, it's the thing where, like, if this was, like there's not really a story, right? If this was, like, a graphic novel, and I picked this up and it was like this, it was like, fine, whatever, right? My problem with this, like, I paid, like, $5 each for, like, each issue. That's, like, $25. Not really worth it. If there was, like, a graphic novel that was, like, $20, I would have been like, fine, whatever. That's good, but, $5 each, $25 to get every issue, and you know it's probably the first issue is probably going to go up in price because the Tokusatsu fan channels have been shilling this comic series, have been saying how great it is, right? Saying, oh, it's cool, like there's this mystery plot with the aliens or whatever's watching whatever's being broadcast to aliens, right? They never go into that. All you see is there are aliens watching him on TV, right? Yeah, so they need Matt Frank. If you're gonna continue this series and you want me to read it, you're gonna need some characters. You're gonna need a fucking actual story because this is it's boring. It's getting boring. The art is good. The fighting are good, but like we need an actual story. We need some characters. Fucking magically transport him to like alien, like our world, and he has to fight monsters or some fucking shit. Because this is getting generic. Okay, so overall, I would give this series a 6 out of 10 just for the art alone. The art is great, but you know what? I can look up at art online. Okay, I need an actual story. But yeah, so that's it for this video. I was gonna review more. I was supposed to review a bunch of fantasy comics, but Fantasy Month is almost over, and we're gonna need to decide what the fuck are we gonna do for Christmas. Are we gonna review random Christmas movies? Are we gonna review winter-themed horror films? Are we gonna do a mix of both? I don't know. Maybe we'll do a poll to decide that. Right? Yeah. So that's it for this video, guys.